Well, the petrol price has hit record highs. The state of some of our roads remains a complete nightmare for most of us motorists. Our reporters are on the roads in the country's biggest metros, and they're giving us some details on just what they're finding there. Let's head on over to Mawande Keswa. He's in KZN. Let's find out what he's seeing there. Mawande, a very good morning to you once again. And earlier, yes, you were sort of chatting to those who live in a particular area, telling you about their daily struggles. Even if you don't own a car, the state of the roads affects you in terms of drainage, in terms of sewage and all of that. What have you seen this morning?
Yes, definitely. I did speak to a number of passerbys as well as people working in the various establishments around here, and they echo quite similar sentiments in that the issue with the roads really does affect even those without cars, as you rightfully say, with regards to the sewerage there, as well as it also poses a safety hazard to them, because majority of the vehicles try to maneuver and avoid the potholes. That can lead those vehicles into swerving into the direction of pedestrians, particularly people who aren't used to this area and may not necessarily know where exactly these potholes are, may be oblivious to what's going on or the hazards that are on the road, and they are at a more likely risk really to cause damage versus those who are used to the area. I'm going to just try and give you a clearer picture in terms of the issues on this road. Now, earlier on, we were facing northbound, and now we're facing southbound. You also have an issue where there are robots there, but they're not really there as well. The poles are there themselves, but the traffic lights aren't there. Could be down to various reasons. It could be due to theft. It could be to an issue where the robots were just moved and placed in another place. But this is quite a busy road because this is where all the vehicles pass. It is a main road, the M10 Springfield, or Brickfield rather, heading to Mayville. It is quite a lengthy road, and this particular area of this road is the one that is a problem area with those potholes, as well as the sewerage system that has clearly collapsed in this area.
Yeah, and if you say that that's a main road, Mawande, it is quite shocking that that would be the state it is in, because, I mean, obviously you would expect there would be continuous maintenance, and you have to wonder at this point how much attention is actually paid to roads in areas like this as opposed to affluent or suburbs as well, roads in those areas.
Well, what I can tell you is that, for an example, in Umhlanga, an accident happens at 8 a.m. By 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. rather, there's a new robot that has been erected. I've seen this with my own two eyes. Then there's areas where a robot goes down due to an accident, and it takes months, sometimes a year, depending on the area and the situation. But there are areas that receive more attention versus other areas. I mean, we've been driving around some of the northern suburbs heading towards the south in areas such as Mayville. Stark contrast. That's something I cannot ignore with regards to the conditions of the road. You'll find an area where you've just witnessed maybe one pothole. You go to another area and there are over 50 that you've seen and counted. So really there are these contrasting images depending on where you go to. Suburbs, less prevalent. You start going into the township and areas that are seen to be less affluent than others. And then that's where you start seeing the cracks a little bit more without needing to put on a magnifying glass.
And Mawande, I mean, you know, with the rainy season, you spoke earlier of drainage problems and stuff as well in areas like this. I mean, what have the passers-by told you? What have people who work in the area, people who use these routes? I mean, what are their sort of issues, especially when it comes to the rainy season, especially there in Durban? We know that you guys get it full force there as well. Just what are their challenges in these times?
Well, as far as issues around drainage, there we have the M4 South heading towards the direction of Umlazi. Just last week, when we did experience some heavy rains, it was flooded and vehicles couldn't pass. And that was something that I personally witnessed, and it's an ongoing issue with that highway. It's probably one of the worst highways that I've been on within the city itself, and it's a constant problem. You've got other areas residential areas where when there is localized flooding, it causes issues for people. We will recall the Easter floods from a few years ago where they wreaked havoc in the province as well as in the city. Various areas in Umlazi, Amanzimtoti were affected. And those are issues that we do see reoccurring. We did experience some rains, but there weren't any reports of flooding, and there weren't any sentiments around flooding that were given to me by the people that I've spoken to in this Mayville area.
All right, Mwanda Keswa in Mayville in KZN, thanks so much for that. And the rest of us think, we take things for granted, just being able to get from A to B without any incident. But these are daily struggles, not just when it's raining, not just when times are hard, but daily struggles. Well, let's head